All right, guys, what's up? What's up? Good morning. Yes, sir. BT's in the building. Big Steve is in the building. Old Hack, Gus, Brad, how you guys doing? Crystal Ball. Good to see you guys tuning in bright and early. So, it's another beautiful day. Today's Thursday the 4th, and we are looking forward to some good action. There's a couple of stocks that I'm watching. I'll write up the list here. I have my top three, which includes TCBP, TVGN, and I don't know, do I want to include this one? HWH. There's three of them that I'd say are like outlier stocks. There's ZCMD, which we'll see. There's HWH, which gave a good move but sold off a little bit. And even GRRR. So there's a couple of them that like could be something, but I don't want to include all of them on the list. I think I'll put HWH, and then the rest we'll see. I'll call them out if they start to move later into the day. Or maybe you guys will call them out, right? Either or. We'll see them on the scans. So I think that'll do it for the watch list. Just those three. HOLO. I can check the daily chart. I think this one kind of, ran its course. I mean, it gave so much opportunities. Doesn't look too bad, but we'll see. Especially if news gets into it. But anyhows, TCBP, I think this will be my main stock. This one right now is up 65%. Currently with 8 million shares of volume. Not looking too bad. Pre-market highs clocking in at 276. 276 pre-market highs. The low of the pullback has been around 190. 191 to be exact. So fairly big range. Let's see. So from almost $3 area, we pulled back to a low of 2. It's bounced up a little bit. I'd love to see it over 238 if possible. 224, 238 over the VWAP area. I had a blue trend line at 250. Let me go check. Is that level still relevant? Now that I think about it, the name of the stock does sound familiar. 250, I'm not quite seeing, but I am seeing this candle that sold off on March 11th with high volume. 139 million shares of volume, high of 317. And that is a level that I'm interested in. If we do get up there, how's the stock going to react? Other than that, if it's strong, can we see 415? Topping with candle, high point of December 29, 2023, 415, which I do already have mapped out. So we'll see how this does. We'll see how this stock does. There's my alarm for screen recording. Guys, you'll notice every day that I come in here, same, like my routine does not change. Everything that I do from the moment that I wake up, even going to sleep on time, everything is the same always. The level of consistency to show up here and trade, it has to be sound. Charlie, what's up? How you doing? Guys, be sure to, if you're watching on YouTube, guys, be sure to hit that thumbs up. I hardly say this stuff anymore, but if you're watching on YouTube, hit the thumbs up. And if you're a new viewer, consider subscribing to the channel. Yeah, so I'm going to move on here to the next stock. Screen recording looks good. TVGN is the other one that I'm really interested in. And this one, we have a high point of 575. And we've pulled back. We've had lows around 450. Hoping we can hold up those levels. TVGN, I don't believe it's a recent IPO. TVGN. Yeah, it's not. I think your swim chart sometimes on the daily doesn't show all the data for some reason. But anyhow, this one we had a big move all the way to 21. Lighter volume, but still we had all the way to 21. But you know, is that realistic to expect that? Probably not. So I'm gonna watch at 850, and actually the 200 EMA is at 888. So 888, 850 area, I think could be a target if this one happens to be strong. So yesterday, you know, yesterday I kind of had gains. I gave it back twice. Um, and then yeah, man, yesterday could have been such a great day. That stock that came when I was shutting it down, I saw it early and did not think it was going to do anything. But that stock was an aggressive stock. I mean, that type of stock right there alone in that 5 minute window, that alone with size, it's like a huge day. So, you know, today I want to be a little bit more careful when it comes to like the closing statements, things like that. And I got to watch out how long I start to preach slash rant, you know, and not miss all the good opportunities here. Because by the time I caught this thing, I only caught like the last green candle, which is, you know, unacceptable, really. But yeah, so yesterday we kind of gave back profits on bigger flushes. The day before we kind of bled out a little bit, slowly losing over time. You know, today we're looking to buck the trend. We're looking to trade to the best of our abilities. You know, after reviewing, I did realize that I made a mistake yesterday, right? That 5,000 share trade at 950, I took a lot of size, and it was not the best area. I didn't quite wait for my high or low breakout or dip. You know, I tried to anticipate a move, but you know, not quite. So today we just got to be a little bit more careful, pay more attention to our key areas, and do what we know how to do best, right? Which is to lock in and trade the patterns and setups that we know and love, and manage risk at a high level, cutting our losing trades quickly. So with that being said, with 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go, the 2 minute warning is coming up, but of course, remember our disclaimer. Remember the risks. I didn't even go over HWH, but you know, I can throw a trend line up there. Remember our disclaimer, right? Remember that day trading is risky business. Day trading is very difficult. And so if you're new, or even if you're, you know, you've been around the markets before, but you're not quite consistent, you're not following a strategy, you know, you might have heard of stocks, you might have even had a Robinhood account, any of that, but you're not quite making money every day. It's best to utilize a small amount of cash, risk money. It's best to use the paper trading simulators to practice, to build experience and gain competence before putting out any sort of real risk. Doesn't matter if you're a billionaire, millionaire, or not. You know, it doesn't make sense to just throw money away for throwing money away sake. It makes more sense to learn the process, take the time to get the skills necessary. So keep that in mind. Secondly, remember that this channel, the live streams, the recaps here, are never a reason to try and copy trade. It takes months, more commonly years, to become efficient at the strategy. Lastly, I do not invest for my subscribers. So I will never message you first. I will never entertain any conversations about copy trading, mirror trading, or options trading. Stay safe. There's a lot of fake accounts out there. And with that being said, let's rock and roll. 24 seconds. My share size seems to be set. I still don't start with 2,500 shares. I, I start with just 1K size, and then I'll increase size as I start to connect. TCBP. Can we see a push over 27 area for the opening surge? Bids are fluctuating a lot. Not bad. So mid to high teens kind of held up. How far will we go? The price action is decent. I'm going to bring up my size a little bit. There's 29. I'll take a couple cents there. The high is at 35. Decent push through 35. Can we continue over 40? I'll try again. Tight stop here. Can we continue over 40? 41 seems to be stalling out 41. Okay, 42. But I want to see 43, 44. There's 43. Can we keep going? 44, 45. Still having some trouble. Okay, 47. It's a little grindy here, but it's going up. Oh, there was a bid. Wow, not bad. 73 for the highs. Most interesting. The halt is at 92 if it's to go crazy. The halt is at 92. I think that was only like a 20,000 share bid. Like I'm surprised it did that well off such a like a small order because it's a cheap stock. If it's like 100,000 plus, then okay. Will the halt level move up higher? It's at 301. Pre-market high was around 76, 75. The halt is now at 301. That's quite the drop. 61. I'll cut the scratch. I'll get back in. I had 71, 61 a little low for me. But also a fair pullback still. Just kind of miscalculated there. So the low of 60 or 62 area. For now at least. Okay. 5-minute candlestick still looks pretty healthy. That's what I'm concerned with right now. So I like that. We're back at 80. So I missed the dip here, so I'm kind of just waiting. Either high or low for me. This one has a lot of range for $3 stock, right? Which is not really a bad thing. The halt up is at 311. High of the current candle is 88. 71 right here. We had 67 or so right there, which might have been a bottom, but very quick, difficult to get in right there. So I'm missing the dip again. It's trying, but back down. This will be the third time. So that 88 level seems to be resistance for now. It'll be important for us to get through. I'm looking for a high hold, but we'll see. So we're gonna get a high hold. We had low 70s, high 60s there. We'll see if it does try to continue. But I want to be prepared for anything here. Like we could still see a breakdown and reclaim. Like, you know, we've been seeing that recently too. But of course, we want to see this thing over 88. The halt up is now at 333. Okay. Is this it? Not quite. Or at the shot. Another rejection candle of 88 area. Back down again. 79. That's our fifth, sixth time getting rejected by the 88 area. High of days at 92. Once I start to see like 90, 91 is where I try again, but I'm not too interested of trying to anticipate the move. It looks good, but then it doesn't go. It's okay, there's a bid, and it still doesn't go. Can we see that again? 30,000 share buyer right at 88. Come on. Yeah, I'll wait some more. I'll watch 95 perhaps. Still struggling 91, 92. Great trades. Okay. Can we hold though? Is the question here. Hopefully we get a good dip. I would hope, I would hope, I would hope. Probably not. Oh, it's just gonna come. It's 07 right there. Not bad. There was a bid there. It's getting over 20, but it's also not going over 20, like, 25, 30. I'm thinking it probably dips down first. Or maybe not. We'll see. We definitely are seeing some buyers around 11, 12. I'm gonna size down for now. I'm gonna still keep my big order ready if I need it. But I'm gonna size down for now. Hive days at 27. I'll take it again. I don't mind. Let's see. Can we see 10, 12, 15? There's 12. The low right there was 99. Thought 12 to 15 and got to 18 right there. So that was a little like above expectation. Gotta be careful of these in-between trades. It's lingering. It's lingering here. Awful fill, but okay. Of course, an 80,000 share buyer comes in as I get chopped out. Lovely. 87,000 shares, 304. Not a bad sign. It's not the instant boost though. That order might just get filled. But we'll see. I was buying 97, 98, but as the moment I was buying some green on the tape came, I'm in at 01, which is, it's a couple cents difference, but yeah, and some of those shares are getting filled from that big bid as we're lingering in this area. This should be interesting. Let's see if the entire position gets filled. Still holding up though. A little bit. Do not go to the depths here. It might, I'll take the loss. Could have sized down for those trades, what felt good. It's still healthy, but it's more like a 5-minute pullback now. It's not the instant bounce back. $79. 79 for the lows. Oh my gosh. I try to do this stuff off camera, but if it doesn't hold up here, then it's just the backside. This is like the last stand. Yeah, probably backside. This one was a tricky one. I think was max I was up $700 again. Very similar to yesterday or yesterday where we didn't really get green. So we'll take the couple $100. CADL, moving on. It's a pretty early backside for this stock. I mean, we could see like a bigger surge back to like 95, which could get us back in gear. So I want to keep an eye. CADL, high of day. Do you want to see something here? Or is this just a bluff? Looks like it's just a bluff. To the gallows, brother. Worth a shot. Tight stop. Moving on. HWH, not much there. GRRR, not much there. TCBP. We'll see if it's able to get back up to 95, $3. I was at like 600. I was thinking like I'm not making any money on this stock, like, but that also didn't mean that it wasn't still looking good to offer more opportunities. So I was looking to still trade, but the backside here seems to be early. Maybe it does curl back up a little later into the day, right? The next hour or so, or maybe even the next 20 minutes. The initial break of what was it? Break of three? The initial break of three I thought was very tricky. Those type of trades I'll capture only if I'm in on a 5 minute setup, like just holding longer. Like if I did take this as the 5 minute setup, um, but I would have had to been in fairly low to be comfortable. Like I would have needed low 60s, which we never got low 60s again. Guys, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, and if you're a new viewer, consider subscribing to the channel. BVPR from yesterday, not a ton. Yeah, ACB is being mentioned, but I'm not super interested. HWH, let's see, not a ton. So TCB, back over 290 area here could be interesting. a small buyer, but only 12,000 shares on the bids. 90. Okay, 95. It's trying. Now, can we try a little harder? Break of 3. Can we try a little harder? And just like that, it's going to be back in business. I still want to see it over 3. Oh, 1. I like this. Let's see what it does. Okay, good. Good, good, good. I'm trying to buy the bids as much as I can because of how ridiculous it is. Can we see an extension? Can we see an extension? It's trying, it's trying, it's trying, it's trying, it's trying. It's not going. I'll get back in if I have to. 13. Somebody's just gonna jump on the bid at 310 as the stock is like 303. Very aggressive. Very aggressive. Waiting patiently. Six. Nah, I don't want that. See, this is the problem with using the market order. And I was like fairly on time. You know, it's just bouncing so quick. So I'm actually checking my fills right now. There's a bid there. Let's see if this does get over 10 this time. There's 11. I'll take my couple cents. So let's see how this does. The dips are working better than the breakout here. Like, can we get over 12 already? Like, what's going on, man? It's looking a little weaker here. 91. Yeah, I should have sold that. That's retesting the lows of 80. Or what was the low? 70? What was that low? Yeah, 70. It could be a higher low, though. Could be a higher low. So far, we got 83. Knowing it was looking a little soft, I think I could have waited for lower. I tried 90 thinking maybe it would still bounce back, but maybe could have waited some more. So are we going to see a higher low and potential curl back up to $3 again over time? Or is this getting ready to break down, make new lows, or even perhaps a double bottom? Only time can tell. I'd love to see it, higher low and then slowly over time get back to 310 and then this time break over 310, retest the highs of 327. If it, I mean, anything really other than it selling off, right? Whether double bottoms, lower low, and then curls up. And so far here, it's looking decent. Yeah, Jay, that's what we could see, right? If it comes back down there to like 70, is that, maybe a retest of those lows. If it holds up, I wouldn't mind going long down there and holding longer. I would take the trade and go and hold longer, put a stop in place. But for me, if it gets down to like 60 area, like I just cut the trade. But if not, if it holds up nicely, then can we get back to 310 and so forth? So right here, I'm going to be watching if it flushes down. You know, oh my God, that's awful. I'll cut the trade. I kind of got a higher entry than I wanted to, but yeah, seller's coming in. To the depths, brother. It always puts a smile on my face when these stocks flush down like this. So instead of giving us a double bottom or even a lower low and then a retested high of 3, it's just to the depths. In which case, I keep my stop as tight as I can, cut the trade, move on, start rotating to the next stock. Is anything else moving? Business as usual. HWH. What I was thinking, I tried to put my limit order to 72, well 73. And I thought I canceled this order. I have to look back at that. I thought I canceled that. Then I put another one, but I realized that was filled. Good thing I got to cancel that in time because then I would have been in twice the size. That would have been frustrating to lose more than I would have wanted to. With 1,500 shares there, I expect anything between a drop to 60 all the way to like 20 to the halt down. So I wouldn't use, let's say, 6,000 shares there because then I'd be too uncomfortable in the trade, knowing that if it just drops like 15 cents, I'd be back to flat. So using a share size that's appropriate for what I'm willing to lose on the trade to the max, not just to my 10 cents, but to the maximum amount. That way, if this was to drop from 75 to the halt down at 220, it wouldn't even be a surprise, You already kind of expected that if it was terrible, it could have been to that level. So I'd encourage people to kind of, take that approach. That way, when something crazy does happen, you're not really in shock. You're not a deer in the headlights. You already looked forward up the road and saw, the cattle crossing. But yeah, right now nothing else really seems to be moving. short sellers in that right there are short since 312. Short, imagine being short 309 and getting that nice follow through on the way down right there. And bulls like myself paying them money in and stopping out lower. We got 600 people watching with 150 likes. Guys, can we get up there to 300 likes? Be sure to hit that thumbs up if you're tuning in. As you guys know, I am Relentless Trader. Every day I come on here around 9:15 a.m. to trade live in front of the world. And yes, we are in a real account over the PDT. And we do this every day. No tricks, no gimmicks, just the market and myself. And the audience, of course. You guys are welcome to watch my journey any time of the week, any day of the year. I'll be here always. In sickness and in health. Good times and bad. Green and red. And anything in between. We will be here. Just call me Old Reliable. Old Reliable Relentless. Definitely top 3, right? Shout out to John at Beginner Trading. We're definitely top 3 out here. If you ask me, number 1, of course. John at Beginner Trading is a cool guy, man. I watch him every day almost. He always has this meme he talks about, top 3. Time 10:13 a.m. Why do they call me the pastor? Because when I start talking up here, it sounds like I'm preaching. When I'm encouraging and inspiring others to be disciplined and to be patient traders. Anybody can say anything about me, but at the end of the day, when I come on here, we keep it real, we keep it professional. We let the people know how it is, and ultimately, overwhelmingly, a lot of people enjoy that, right? And we talk about a lot of different topics concerning day trading and trading psychology. Of course, throughout the earlier session, I'm more locked into trading, but like right now, nothing is moving, and so I'll start the rant. Let the rant begin. Let the rant begin. Still rotating through. It's so strange that this is the best day of the week so far for me. Like it's almost unbelievable, really. Not that this momentum was bad, but we've seen some good stuff this week, right? Especially yesterday. It's one thing that does frustrate me a little bit, and it's also why I believe it's important to be present at all times. I'd love nothing more than to have the chance to trade the stock without an excuse, you know? And simply not being present, it's in itself is, sometimes an issue. I want to know what I could have done if I was here and had, and the stock had my undivided attention from start to end. It's a good feeling for me because it lets me know where I am and what I can work on. So, yesterday missing that move. Doesn't feel too good, but upwards and onwards. 5K size. Yeah, I think I took one 6,000 share position and that's it. Earlier, I did go to 3,000 pretty quickly. Right now, I'm not even really looking at a size. Like once I can connect any size is fair size as long as it's within the realm of what I'm okay to lose if the trade doesn't work. So I think break of three, was this the first break of three? Yeah, I tried it initially and I think I needed to hold a little longer. Let's see. I'm in 6,000 shares at 40. Oh no, what's this like 23 to 36? Well, it's kind of a long time here, but we're back in. We kind of tried it, but didn't go super well. Then in at 19 out of 07. This is awful right here. This trade right here I should have never took. This trade I knew it was an in-between trade. It's just so bad, man. It's similar to what I did yesterday. Like that, the 5,000 share trade yesterday is this same trade here. Why am I doing that? I don't know. I have to eliminate it completely. There's too much. Like if the high is at 20, the high was at 27, right? And the stock is currently at 16. There's no way I can tell if it's ready for a breakout, being where it is. Why am I attempting that trade thinking it's gonna make a move up? Like it doesn't matter what kind of green, unless it doesn't matter what kind of green comes in on the tape. If it's what's the norm, right? Unless there needs to be some sort of change. Unless the tape starts to move, you know, with some sort of a different pace. It has to be like a ridiculous, change, a very sudden change. If we're flowing, and then there's the doors of the reservoir opens, and you see a crazy influx, or maybe there's 100,000 share buyer or more on the bids. That's the only way I could take that type of trade right there. But for level two to still be moving slow, just a little bit of green comes in, like it's just nonsense. Throwing money into the wind. It's why I also say out loud to myself, high or low, high, look for a breakout or look for a dip. And every single pattern or edge that I trade from the classes will be a dip or a breakout. So why am I looking for something in between that's not even a part of my strategy, right? Doesn't make any sense. It's not back tested. There's no anything there backing that up. That trade is definitely the worst trade of today and the worst trade yesterday. You got to be precise and accurate. There's a lot of moving parts, but there's no excuse for making silly mistakes here. If we want to be the best, right? If we want to be number one, I got to be the best version of myself. The best version of myself will be unstoppable. Can't be making the silly mistakes, brother. Does anybody else feel this way as they trade? Or am I just being way too aggressive here? But as I say that, I don't feel any pressure. It's just me looking to be better, right? Me looking to improve, that's been my whole life. Better grades, higher class, you know, from the beginning. From the beginning. I remember I was part of this relay race. Uh, I was part of this relay race, man, and this guy on my team fell. This guy fell. This guy fell down. That stuff like that, man. By the time I got the baton, I was in dead last. That was all those small things like that, throughout the years of just growing up. You're being way too aggressive, but not aggressive enough. Two very different perspectives there. Certain things you can't, like, certain things are not in your control, right? Like that guy falling down. But losing the race, it's like, man, how can I try to be a little bit more, how can I be a little faster? How can I get a little faster? How can I improve? ACB is still like moving up a bit. It's not the stock that I'd usually trade, but it gave a good move here. Higher float stock. I'm not going to type it in because I don't want to look at it. I'm going to stick to what works best for me. This is interesting. Is this how the news headlines usually come out? Like, let me see if any of these stocks actually gain volume. BMO. So if you don't select a specific stock, it kind of just updates what's the latest. ACT. But most of these stocks are nonsense. PHM. Some people actually look at this stuff. But of course, they might have other criterias too, especially with volume. LGIH. Let me go back to dual screen. I'm looking at this news section here on Momo Pro. ACB, low float. And I've been slacking this entire time as usual, not double checking. I usually will at least look at the level 2, but I'm noticing tight spreads, which is good. It's up 13%, 18 million shares of volume. Of course, big move here. Chart wise, yeah, perhaps 35, 37. 840 for highs. It does seem a little different though. We'll see. There's 43. Let me reduce my size to just 800. Not interested in being aggressive yet. It's pretty extended. Well, maybe it keeps going. There's 44, 47. It's moving kind of weird though. It's like a 5 cent move up, then it lingers. I'll try right here. Oh nope. It lingers and then it goes again. Is there shares to short? I wonder. Someone is saying wasted capital, Bradley, and utter mess. Wasted capital on that utter mess. So not everyone is loving it. How's TCBP doing? Did we crawl back up or anything? Nope, not really. Low was 22 for ACB. Yeah, ALUR is moving up. I was at 340, 3 to 380 over a couple candles. High is at 88. This one here more suits what I'm looking for. Oh, I get caught there. A little early on that dip. Good bounce though. I'm just a little early. It's a good bounce, good bounce. $56. Oh, wow, wow, wow. Impressive. So is that how this one is going? It's still a bit of a spread at times. That was pretty good. Very good. Do we have more left in the tank though? There is going to be downside risk here. As always. It's kind of late, but okay. Not the same result as last time, that's for sure. In terms of the move up. Interesting. It's having some trouble. I'll try again. Small size. That's better. Better bounce. Look back down. Rejecting 70. It seems like this could, well, we're definitely pulling back. I don't know if it's the backside or not. Oh my gosh. Guys, refrain from using any profanity in chat. The way how the bot is set up, it doesn't ban anyone, but it deletes the message immediately, like the moment it's sent, and it gives a warning. Low 46. I want to see it back over 70. There's some green here. Can we push through? Okay, 68. Come on, let's push through. Let's push through. 68, 68, 67, 67, 68. Pushing through to the depths. Still watching. Should have held up. Yes. Should have held that. 71. It looks decent. The volume hasn't really hit it yet, despite all the green that we've been seeing. So it can rip right up to like 82, 83. Bro. See, this is the only thing. Like, we get up there at 75, green is hitting the tape, nothing is happening. It's just, there seems to be a few hidden sellers. This might be a good stock. Like, it might be really good. Like, if it gets going, it's already looks like it was decent. We haven't had a red candle yet. The new 5-minute candle's here. 79 is the 5-minute candle to make the new high. If it's to be strong in this area, Not bad. Not bad right there. Uh, 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 okay. The dips are pretty good. The dips are good. I could have been more aggressive towards 63. Honestly, my hand just wasn't on that hotkey to buy. Is why I wasn't in. I was not on my bid hotkey. Slacking. It can come down pretty quick too. That downside risk is still gonna be an issue. My hands is on the button this time. 80 shares filled. Lovely. And it's not an immediate bounce either. 80 shares. What are the odds that this sells off miserably? 75, 76, 78. The only thing, we'll see, maybe it does happen, but I just like to see this stock be a little more volatile, and it would be ideal, especially if it starts to uptrend. The candle's about to close though. We haven't tested 90 properly. So this wasn't really a good 5-minute candle. Big Steve Bretta. 22,000 shares at 82 on the ask. Starting to lose interest here. It's like this lackluster consolidation between 60 and like 80, you know, opportunities for sure, but I know a few people, or let's say I've met a few people that love eating ice. I don't know why. As we're talking in the Discord about what we can afford versus the gain or loss we have today. Some people saying they can afford a Big Mac, others saying they're gonna be eating ice. It's like I'd be in class and there'd be people with cups of ice, like I don't know where they, I don't know what that is, but it's something. Yeah, this, again, I'm losing interest in this stock, man. Let's see what the YouTube side of things are saying. Uh, let's see. It looks like there's a conversation going on. RD, don't waste your money. New day tomorrow. Yeah, we can take our $3 for sure. Plus $3 is a McChicken. No pre-market trading. I've this conversation continues to be a thing. Like pre-market and me, man. I thought I was gonna start this week. Like actually, I had a conversation with someone in the Discord. I was thinking maybe this week might have been the time. But there's some kinks with pre-market that makes it a little bit more tricky. The liquidity, lack of market orders, which actually that's not really an issue because I have limit orders with offsets, which is basically the same thing anyways. Um, I don't know, man. Pre-market is just a little bit more. It's just different. It's different. We're up 1K today. ZC is in the building. ZC, how you doing today, man? Hope you had a good day. We've been green the last 3 days, which has been good. Not huge green, but we'll take it. Right now, I'm on pace with CDL truck driver. 2K. Well, they probably make more than that by now. Um, Last person I talked to was like what 2,500 a week. I gotta up my game is what I gotta do here. gotta gotta up my game. Man, I don't know how to drive stick shift. Truck driving with RT. We've done some. I can actually do a new driving with Relentless video. I can probably do one of those this weekend. It's been years since we did one of those. We never got to cooking with RT. That was supposed to be a thing. I was supposed to make Rasta pasta years ago. It went to the depths. My Rasta pasta is pretty good. We need an RT vlog. There's gonna be a good vlog coming in June. In June. Let me just do a quick rotation. CADL, not much. GRRR, not much. What was the name of this company? Gorilla Technology. Lovely. TCBP sold off. These biopharmaceuticals and biotechnology companies are usually pretty, come and play a lot. Yeah, I did say June, right? That's not, is that next month? No, that's like 2 months. I can make like a daily vlog, like a day in the life kind of vlog. I mean, I can always do something like that. But my life right now is pretty chilled, man. I mean, this weekend should be interesting though. We're kind of like, I'm going to this event. Should be fun. Maybe I can vlog the event. Show you guys how Caribbean people party. It's gonna be madness. Definitely gonna be maybe a little bit of a shock for some people. Gonna be a bit of a shock for some people. Yeah, the company names are interesting, man. The company names are interesting. Craving and chewing ice is often associated with iron deficiency. Hmm, interesting. I'm not sure if that is true, but the way how that sentence is phrased, it sounds it sounds pretty believable. We'll have to do our research as usual, right? Can you explain how you started and sized up, like how I started trading or how I started sizing up? A Discord doctor. There's actually a few nurses in the Discord. There's a few nurses in the community. Not saying that the person who said that phrase sentence is a nurse, but there's a few nurses. How did I start sizing up? I think for me, just being able to find the consistency within the trades, that led to confidence, which then led to me taking more size. And on top of that, building a cushion, right? And not just uh, actual cash, but also mentally, because when I started, I basically took on debt for my entire account. I literally like, it's full on business style, like took out a loan. So there's a lot of risk, and I had a max loss on my entire account. Like, hey, if I lose more than 2,500, I'd have to stop trading. So in the beginning, it's like even when I made my first 3,000, 5,000, it's like it didn't, like, none of that meant anything really. Like it of course on the side of like, hey, it's a huge achievement, I'm doing well, yeah, on that side. But in terms of like being able to be comfortable to take on size, it's like it just didn't make sense knowing, hey, I could buy a $10 stock, 1,000 shares, and lose $1,000 in like, an instant. So I had to manage risks very, very tightly to where I could not lose a certain amount to the extremes. So that meant just small, small green days, small red days in the beginning, and accumulating those days over time to then eventually get the separation, being able to then pay back the loan, um, and then building a cushion on top of that to then feel good. It's like I was living so frugally, right? Despite being able to make money in the first like 2 years, it's like I had other income because I was working at Amazon at the time, but still, you're making $10 an hour, you're not making anything. So not having a ton of expenses did help, but still, it's like all of the money was going back towards the loan. And then, I mean, and even from trading back then, it's like, I think the first year was what, 18,000, 16,000. It's like, it's not a lot, right? That's what it is. It's not a lot, especially in this after COVID era, right? This inflation era is like, so all this stuff, I'm here every day trading, but it's like, that's also in the back of my mind. Like, I have to go slow. I mean, I don't have a choice. If I go too quickly and I lose, then there goes my one shot at trying to trade, right? With the real account. So it was just a slow, gruesome process. It was fun. I probably shouldn't use the word gruesome, but it was slow in that aspect of sizing up. It was slow, right? Um, until finally being able to pay back the loan, being able to get some sort of savings, and then I made the decision to go full time, and then from there I started pushing more and more. And the community I can also say is a part of sizing up. You know, talking to guys like Marcelo, Big Steve, like since like I mean years ago, man. Big Steve was here since the earlys, right? Marcelo, all these guys. Steve would be telling me it's why you need that positive reinforcement, right? The people around you, and especially if they're traders too. It's like all these years ago we're talking about, man, RT, like I can see you doing it. I can see you slamming 3K shares easy, right? These are conversations we're having. We're still having them now. Like, hey, I can see you slamming 20,000 shares. So, all those small things, right? Seeing guys like Marcelo, us encouraging each other, right? Like, hey, Pastor, like, what's going on? Like, today I thought you should have done a little bit better. Like, these things like that, right? You have the guys like Save, Crispy, right? The first time we met Save, it's like Save was telling his story of how he started trading and how he, took the more aggressive approach to things. And so, all these things, man, help out a lot. And before you know it, especially once you're seeing the consistency, you feel confident. If you're doing somewhat the same thing every day, and it's working and yielding a good result X amount of the times, then you start to feel better about, hey, you know what, in these areas, these high probability areas, I'm going to go for it. It took me over a year to pay back the loan because I did not use, and here's the thing for people out there, if you ever decide to go this route, first, of course, accept the risk. But something that I did that wasn't wise is that I did not use the proceeds to pay back the loans directly. Like that if I could go back, I would change that. That's probably one of the only things I'd change. In terms of just once the interest starts to hit, once the interest starts to hit, it becomes a problem because I did it through credit card arbitrage. So I had 15 months. I had 15 months of 0% interest, but then after that, 25%. So it was free money for that entire duration. But and so some of you guys, and here's the story, right? Like I have a sibling that trades, and at that time we were both trying to go live. He helped me to get some of the cash from the credit and stuff like that, right? There's a two-man team. And so we had gotten his account up and running, but he had lost money off the top, like 4K, 5K or something like that. And at the time, instead of like paying the loan, I'm like, it's gonna be better if both of us are in the game, we're both doing well. So I opted to give him the money than to pay back the loan. And I mean, I probably wouldn't change it because at the end of the day, it's like the plan made sense, which is both of us trading together and doing well. And at the time, his simulation stats were far better than mine too. So it's like, all right, let's both be in the game together, you know, and let's do it, right? And he's a much more aggressive trader than I am. So, but then again, boom, like another 4K loss, and I helped him again. And so this is like 10, maybe like 8 to 10K, which would have been for the loan, you know, helping him. And then it's like a couple more months, the loan actually, you know, came into effect with the interest. And then it was like, it's like, damn, it's like, I didn't, you know, I still had cash, of course, but it's this thing where you kind of know the payments are coming for real. Like, you're not going to just be paying the minimum. You have to start making the payments. And it was like a reality check. It's like, you don't want to be paying interest, right? Like nobody does. But the investment that I try to make, if you want to use the word like, you know, edging in a sense, like both of us combined doing well, we're going to be able to pay off this loan in no time, especially with him being a little bit more of an aggressive trader, right? But the loan came due, we didn't have the money ready. So HAHA, is that moving or is that just haha? If it's in all caps, let me double check, because if not, I'm missing another stock here. The Discord isn't saying anything, so probably not. Anyhow, yeah, I'm gonna double check just in case, because yeah, okay, good. I'm paranoid about missing opportunities since yesterday. But in terms of how long the loan took, I think I wasn't able to really pay it off till like that next year. So it was like a year of paying this interest, man. Brutal. But finally, once that loan was gone, to the moon, brother. To the moon. But working outside of trading also was good at that time, because it's like you would have other income and it wouldn't be as stressful, you know, because there can be stress in that aspect. Right now, it's different because the amount of size that we're using, how comfortable we are, you know, we have more experience, we're more competent. Like, we just need 4 good days in a month to have like a solid month. Like, you know, we're capable of 10K days, like, you know, in the first 10 minutes of the open. So anytime that there's a stock that's really good, chances are we're going to do well. So now it's pretty different. You know, I've taken a lot of steps to, you know, protect what I have, let's say, right? Like, this is one thing I'll never do, is keep all my money in my trading account. Like, I would never do that, because it's just too much risk. Any day the balance in my account could go to zero just via a freak accident, the internet going out. I want to calculate the risk to the extreme at all times. So if it's to happen, because I'm a realist, these things could happen. Your power could go out with 50K size. Tomorrow I could take 50K size on a $2 stock. The power could go out. 5 minutes later, the stock is halted down, secondary offering, resuming 50 cents. That is a possibility. So, you know, you gotta manage risk to the extreme. So what that means is, if I lose that money today, tomorrow I need to have another PDT account ready to go, right? So I'll have multiple brokers. Small stuff like that. The ADL. This is the one that I tried earlier. Not loan, man, not loan, I tell you. But with trading, though, the beautiful thing with trading is that the growth is exponential once you really start to get comfortable. Once you really start to get, and let me go back. Let me bring that back. I always gotta watch how I say things, because you know, somebody could just be tuning in now. You don't want it to sound the wrong way. It can be exponential, assuming that you've went through the learning curve and that you've gotten to consistency. And then you start to become comfortable after that, you know, that repetition, right? Every day, day in, day out, knowing what you can do, seeing things play out a certain way. I'm going to start to use even more size because when I'm in the sequence, when a stock gives a good opportunity and this pattern is playing out well and I can see it happening and unfolding, the intuition, I'm just going to take even more size because it's working. It's been working, right? There's nothing telling me it's not going to, it's not going to, or let's say it's going to stop. It's just, at this point, it's what it is. So we just keep pushing. It's like you can reach to a level and say, okay, I'll stop here, but it doesn't really take that much more physically, because you can get to a physical limitation with how much weight you can lift. Let's say you're doing a job, you're carrying a box, right? You might not be able to carry a box of 150 pounds. But with this, I can put an extra zero at the end and take more shares as long as the liquidity is there. So if the liquidity is there and mentally I'm willing and able to accept the risk, why not take more size if it's something that's consistently already working? But if you do choose to say I'm okay where I am, I don't think there's anything wrong with that per se. But you're doing the same exact thing with the same amount of time. You know, there's nothing really changing other than you mentally accepting more risk. And there's some variables to that, right? Maybe how old you are, what you might have to lose, or what your goal is, right? I mean, your goal definitely, factors in. But being young and not having any sort of like, you know, I'd say like family to worry about, I can go all out, right? Oh, okay, this is interesting now. Did I get a good fill? No, it's awful fill. 60, that was a good push there. 78 over the new high. No fill there. I wonder if it's selling off though. Is it selling off? It might be selling off. 55. It's a good push through the pre-market high, but back down. And I'm thinking it could be selling off because the pullback is like a little too low. We get to 78 that quickly. We don't need to be seeing 57. It's inching up, perhaps back over 70. Well, we'll see. So the good thing, we're going back to the conversation with the loan, right? I use the money to do something productive, right? So I'll never be upset about that. Um, where I would have been frustrated looking back is if I would have used the money to like you just spend it on something, carelessly. But I was pretty responsible. That didn't, I mean, even now like I don't ever do anything that's just crazy. Like it has to make sense, right? Even if it's like something on the smaller side. And that's not to say that I don't spend, because I do, but I just don't do it on anything that's just absurd. You know, I'm also the person that's not into like fashion and like I could care less about like name brand stuff. In fact, everywhere I go, I wear these t-shirts. I have some that here that I've never even wore yet. So even if I want like a newer one, they're already there in every color. Keep it simple. Over 67, I might be interested here if there's a lot of volume coming in. Oh, not quite. 64, not quite, not quite. I gotta make sure I'm careful here. I don't want to be losing money. See, what that is just now is that tape does pick up in pace. Like a wave of big green on the tape, like buying, comes in. But then the moment we get up here, it just phases out. Because sometimes I want to be quick. If this is going to actually continue to 70, 75, I want to be in as quickly as possible. But sometimes doing that might mean you're not waiting for enough confirmation. So it's that delicate balance. What would my plan been if the loan didn't work out? Well, I was extremely confident because my metrics was backing me up, and here's a good thing too. Back then, Thinkorswim simulator, Thinkorswim simulator was so good. Like when I first went live, it didn't even feel like there was a difference. Like the simulator back then was real time. The only thing that was different that you had to watch out for was the fact that you'd always get a fill if you use the limit order because you're in a paper account. So it's like, okay, I gotta account for partial fills and lack of fills if I use limit orders in some key areas. Um, and other than that, like I kept to a size that was reasonable, just a few hundred shares. Everything felt good. So my stats were backing me up. Um, I was confident. Like I already knew I was a profitable trader. But I mean, things can still happen. One of those freak accidents, the internet going out kind of thing, right? If that was the case, I'd have to hold my head and just started slaving away at Amazon. That would have been what I would have had to do at the time to pay back the loan. I'd have to continue to live very frugal, and then from there, either giving trading another go or a different plan. If it was a freak accident, more than likely I would have given trading another go because I would have known that like I'm capable, but one of those one in a million kind of things, power went out. But even then, I was even accounting for that too. So it's like, with the amount of shares that I was using then, it's like even if something tragic was to happen, I still wouldn't have lost anything close to the entire account. Even if you want to say a tenth, a fifth, I would not have lost the entire account. And the good thing too is that in the simulator, I already went through that emotional spiral already. So the risk management has always been since that time, on par. We were managing risk according to the situation. But things can change, right? Like let's say there's a positive change. Let's say I win a scratch off tomorrow of 5 million. If I win a scratch off tomorrow, at that point things can be very different here, like in terms of size. I'll have to like simulate my mind and program my mind towards, you know, let's say 3, 4, 5 times the size, especially if the liquidity is there, right? That's always the thing, to make sure that the liquidity is there. But if it is, you know, our strategy could have a ceiling because there's a time horizon and some of the trades are quick. You can't be super heavy, but there are certain situations where you could go for it, especially on those beautiful consolidations. For sure, I would be even more comfortable to take on risk at that point, because then, you know, it's like money doesn't really mean anything at that point at all, you know. Right now, do I want to be down 10,000? No. It's still a lot of money, right, to lose. We can afford it, but we don't want it to happen. But I win $5 million tomorrow. I could come here and lose 10 grand tomorrow. It doesn't mean anything. As long as I'm following my rules, of course, right? Under that context, that I'm following my rules and being disciplined. But it just so happened that with the share size that I'm using, I happen to be read that amount. That would mean, you know, that would be a good day, actually. That'd be a great day. It's like I followed my rules. I traded all the right areas, just got chopped out because I know what the green days will look like when I do connect. There's like a magnitude of how do you describe this? There's like yeah, I think magnitude is the right word. There's like a magnitude. Jeez, it's rare that I don't know what I want to say. Um, let's put it like this, right? There are like levels when a stock starts to move to the upside, that is trading well, you know, giving good price action for our strategy, versus when something sells off. Usually, when a stock is failing, even if we take a couple of losses, we're able to, you know, very quickly stop the bleeding. Versus when a stock actually is, you know, the opposite and is very strong and it keeps going and continues, then, you know, that return essentially is exponential versus the loss because we're keeping it so tight. You know, the stock yesterday is a good example, right? BOFG, BOGF. Jeez, my memory. I gotta go back to this thing. What was the name of that stock yesterday? BROG. Okay, BROG. Memory. My memory is in the gallows. Yeah, this is a great example because the stock goes from this consolidation 355 all the way to 666. You know, what we can capture a decent amount of this move up, versus once this starts to fail and we break down these lows, it's like, okay, hey, we're approaching the backside. So it's like our risk is somewhat limited just in between the high and the VWAP on the downside, versus all of this being potential on the upside. You know, this is also part of why we can manage risk, right? I mean, there's different layers to the risk management system. This opportunity from low to high versus high to low is not equal, because we're making sure to keep it tight and to ease off when the stock is no longer attractive. So maybe we could have lost money in the first 25% of the move down, but then for the rest of this, there's no way we're touching any of this going down here. You know, and even if we're taking quick dips, it's like still this entire move down is not our risk, whilst this entire move up could be our potential. And you know, that gives us the imbalance to the winning side of things. So whenever we lose and we keep it tight, you know, this is kind of a good example of it, right? Yeah, sometimes we'll lose on the upside as well, but most of the times when stocks are doing well and giving good price action, giving good breakouts, good dips, good candlesticks, we're gonna capitalize. But yeah, this might be a good place to shut it down. We'll walk away here with our little bit of green, and we'll be back again tomorrow. So 1K day, green on TCBP, green 700 to green 200, and then back up. We got up to 1500. Had a small loss or two at the end, and then we switched away. Small red on CADL, $50. Yeah, not a bad day. Could have been better, but green is good. So I'm gonna shut it down, and I'll be around if something else moves later. The VPR. Actually, let's see how this one does. It's kind of early. Is it the first daily candle making the new high already? It's given a decent move, but do we have enough people paying attention to it? Probably not. We're only seeing 60,000 shares of volume per 1 minute candle, which is not enough for me. I'd love to see about 150 or more. Yeah, I'm going to leave this alone. 750 area would be better if we get up there, but we'll see. So for those of you going all the way to 4 p.m. and beyond, continue to be disciplined, continue to be patient, continue to look for those opportunities that you know and love. Do not give in to any over trading or revenge trading. Keep it tight, keep it firm, and stay disciplined. You guys can always feel free to check out the... Did I have the dual screen up the entire time going through that example? Jeez, classic. But anyhows, yeah, you guys can feel free to check out the links down below for Momo Pro, the Discord, which is our chat room, as well as the classes. If you're interested, you guys can feel free to take a look. I'm not going to go into too much details right now. We are shutting it down. So stay safe, stay green. I'll catch you guys next time. Hit that thumbs up on the way out.